Thousands of flights are delayed, hundreds canceled. Chicago's O'Hare Airport, one of the busiest in the country, was expected to operate without a full staff of air traffic controllers. Is this safe?
It's safe. It really is, and that's the best word to start with. The reason we have these delays, the reason, unfortunately, that we have the cancellations is because safety is first, and the FAA understands that, and that means planes are going to be spaced out a little longer because they don't have the enough controllers in some of those areas. And you know, it's not just one region, it's not just one airline or anything like that. The airlines are fully staffed; they're doing everything they can. It's the fragility of the system and the air traffic control shortage from Burbank, we saw it early in the week, to Nashville, to East Coast, West Coast. It's a national problem. It really is. But it's all these mitigation effects are all in the name of safety. And to give the FAA a lot of credit, they're being very creative. The other day when Nashville got jammed up, the folks in Memphis were helping land the Nashville planes, with the technology that was available. When Burbank got held up, San Diego, the controllers in San Diego stepped up to help mitigate that. So they're doing things they don't normally do to be creative, to make sure that passengers can get from A to B.
But without sacrificing safety.
That's right. No, safety is absolutely paramount, and that's why everything is ultimately going to get delayed. And the longer this goes on, the more pressure on this fragile system. We look at what happened back in 2019, 35-day government shutdown. This is different. We're seeing call-outs, we're seeing delays a lot sooner in the government shutdown than we did then, like weeks sooner. So my message to everyone, if folks on the Hill are listening, this is going to get worse faster. So let's not wait for the crunch really to happen. Back in 2019, it was basically the taxiway of LaGuardia that was completely jammed up. That really drove Congress back into action. Let's not do that this time, right? Let's first appreciate, God bless, all those air traffic controllers that are coming in, knowing they're not going to get a full paycheck this Friday. Yeah. They're still coming in. They're still doing their job. A ton of appreciation. I was with Brian Bedford, the FAA administrator, just an hour ago. First thing he's talking about is safety and appreciation, and God bless it. But those that are calling out, you got to get back to work. You got to support your teams. You got to make sure the American public is taken care of.
Hey, Chris, air traffic controllers are considered essential employees. They must work during a shutdown. Organized sick-outs are prohibited by law. What's going on? Why are we seeing this happen? I mean, first of all, I know part of the problem is we were already so understaffed that even just one or two calling in sick is a crisis. But
that's right.
But you mentioned a moment ago that we're seeing more of it earlier in the shutdown than we did in previous shutdowns. Why is that?
In 2019, in the middle of the government shutdown, they passed another law that basically talked about a Fairness in Labor Act that basically said even if you call out sick, you're going to get paid. Back then, they weren't sure if they were going to get paid if they called out sick. This new law, this new act that's in place there says you're going to get paid, so therefore they have a little bit more of a safety net, and you're seeing the call-outs increase in numbers much earlier, much faster. And those are new data points. We're trying to look at this from a very data-specific level. The airlines are providing, as Airlines for America, we're kind of the central nexus for a lot of the airlines here in D.C. We're looking at those data, looking at how many flights are delayed, what the cost is. I mean, we're talking over $1 billion a week in terms of economic impact, and that's just this week, right? So that's just going to grow over time. But again, this one's different, and I think folks in the Hill need to appreciate the rules are a little different, and so they have to act, I think, with a little more expediency to make sure, again, the system is safe, but the system has to have that resiliency for the American customer.
You bet. All right, Chris Sununu, great to have you back on the air. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.